Remember Burger King?
No.
Burger King's my motto. Have it your way. Except when I go to Burger King, I never have it my way. I want the burger without pain. I always have to pay.
So you don't
Sorry.
get your way.
I know, but here you will.
No, you don't, because I won't get the arts time.
Good point. I like that. Let's rock and roll. What's Medicare for? You guys learned that yesterday or Tuesday? What's that for?
For your health.
For what?
Your health.
My health or your health?
Your health.
My health? I have health insurance. I don't use Medicare.
That's if
Good try,
you
though.
have health insurance.
Okay, good. So right now you can, let's say, when are you gonna turn 18?
Huh?
When are you gonna turn 18?
Next year.
So you're saying, if you say, you know what, mom and dad, screw you guys, I'm not gonna go to work. You're saying you can use Medicare money to go to the doctor?
No.
When can you use it then?
When you're, like, what's that thing called, unemployed thing?
Yes. Or when? Anybody know?
Over the age of 65.
Right, when you're 60, I think the cutoff is 65. In other words, they have it for older people who can't work anymore, and they need to go to the doctor, you use Medicare. But the logic is this: A, they've been paying into Medicare their whole life, so they can borrow from it now. They can use some of the money. In other words, everyone pays Medicare, whether you're going to use it right now or not. Anytime you're working, they're going to deduct Medicare taxes from that, and Social Security. Social Security is kind of the same thing. You're too old to work, or if you can't work, you get Social Security. My little sister gets Social Security because she's mentally disabled. She can't go to work. My youngest sister, she still stays at home with my parents. My parents are older. My dad's 72. My mom's 68, and my sister's she's gonna turn 30, but she can't work because she's like mentally unstable, and so she gets Social Security.
What are you, mister?
46.
26.
That's
26.
that's a huge gap.
Wait,
It
what?
It is, yeah, it's true.
How was that?
I don't know. I have two younger sisters. She's my youngest. My next younger sister is 41. Yeah, she's about 41. But then she's 30. So there's like a big gap.
Yeah.
I don't know my parents. I don't know.
So it was a big gap with her and the other two. So you couldn't relate to either of them like that, could you?
Well, my next youngest sister I could relate to. My youngest, it's hard to relate to her because she's kind of, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, like, growing up with her.
Yeah, I was already in high school when she was born.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's crazy, yeah. Yeah, it was. So it was interesting. Very unique. But Social Security, for people who can't work, older or disabled. Everyone pays into both. You learned that on Tuesday, I trust. If you finish the assignment, at least. So no matter where you are, who you are, if you are working, you're gonna get paid. You're gonna pay into Medicare. Do you guys remember the percentage for Medicare?
No.
It was 0.62.
Nice. So 6.2%. And you're saying it as a decimal. I love it. 6.2% of your paycheck goes to Medicare. And what about Social Security? Extra stamp if you can remember Social Security. Seventeen.
1.45.
Rocking it. So not as much. Very small amount of your check goes to it. But if millions and millions of people are paying into it, it becomes a big pool of money. But you don't get a lot of money if you're just collecting Social Security. It's just barely maybe to keep you alive, which is still something. All right, let's figure this out. So how much is he gonna get, Mr. Reyes gonna get paid, is gonna be taken out for Medicare, Social Security? This is easy stuff, you guys, come on now. 8,500. For Medicare, it's 8,500 times, turn 6.2 into pure decimal. That's 0.062, like Servin just said a little while ago. Very nice. Give it to me, Alvarez, you could do the calculation?
5,270.
One more time.
5,270.
Nah, that's way too much.
Wait, no.
You're saying they're
wait,
gonna,
wait, wait. It's gonna be 5270.
better than that, 5,000 in Medicare?
Yeah. The whole shit.
Seriously, give it to me, 5270?
Yeah.
Okay, now how about the Social Security? 8,500 times, watch this, pure decimal, move that decimal over twice to the left. You could do that in your sleep now. Give it to me, Alvarez.
It's 12.33.
So $12.33 Mr. Reyes has to pay into Social Security. He'll be paying that into his whole life. They'll be taking out Social Security, so that when he's old, he can benefit from it. When he stops working, he'll get a Social Security check. Everyone pays into it. So far, so good. So, I gotta admit something. I'm gonna make a confession to you guys. I've been trying to scare you this whole quarter. I want to scare you into the realities of life after high school. So if you go to Burger King and get a job at Burger King, my first job was at McDonald's, remember? Any check you get, let's say you make $400 in a week. Any check you get, they're gonna take out federal income taxes, California state taxes, right? Cali state taxes, they're gonna take out. They're gonna take out Medicare. They're gonna take out Social Security. We're still not done.
I know.
What else are they gonna take out?
Isn't it like IRS too? Something like that?
Well, IRS deals with this. At the end, I'm glad you brought that up, that's good. The Internal Revenue Service, they're the ones in charge of taking this out. And once a year, you know when people do taxes, your parents ever do taxes?
Yeah.
What they're doing during tax season is they're saying, look, maybe the federal government took out too much money out of my checks. In other words, maybe I overpaid them throughout the year. That's how you get some money back. People get money back because they've taken out too much of your income tax. That's what the tax people get paid to do, to see if they've overtaxed you. Or the bad news is sometimes they don't. If you go to the tax person, you haven't paid enough tax. You don't want that kind of news. So everything they kept throughout the whole year, you still didn't pay enough, and you still got to pay more. That's where tax season is all about. That's the IRS forms and stuff, once a year. But my confession is, I'm trying to scare you guys. When you get out in the real world, there's a reason why your parents, your elders, your family, people who care about you, they're asking you to take your future seriously, or you're gonna struggle big time out there. Because no matter what shouldn't say that, but no matter what kind of job you have, they're gonna be taking these out. And if you already get paid a little bit of money, it's gonna get even littler than little, because they're taking all this stuff out. On top of what I'm gonna teach you today. Imagine. If you wanna go to the doctor, you gotta pay health insurance. That's what I'm gonna cover today. So on top of this, you'll pay health insurance.
And car insurance.
Car payment, how are you gonna get around? Let's buy a car cash or something. Oh, you wanna take your girlfriend to the movies? Yikes. You see, life gets very expensive very quick, you guys. Take your future seriously. I don't want you living with your parents in the basement playing video games. Please don't do that. I'm gonna take your stamps away. Just kidding. You had a question or no? All right, let's go. Let's get into group health insurance now. Example 2 for today. So today's lesson is called group health insurance. Put that somewhere on the title of your notes. Federal income tax, they're taking money. State, they're taking money. Medicare, they're taking money. Social Security, they're taking money. And if you want to have the luxury of going to the doctor, they're going to take out money for health insurance. Some people don't have health insurance because they can't afford it. Well, I'm not sure that's a decision you're going to have to make, depending on the amount of money you make. I don't know what your plans are. Example 1, annual cost of insurance is $6,570. Employer pays 70% of that, and there's 12 pay periods. Number 2, annual cost of insurance is $12,000. Employer pays 80%. There's 52 pay periods. Hit it. Go and write it down. I'll give you about a minute. So I pay. Am I pasting? No, I already put it in my finances folder. I pay about $1,200 a month for insurance out of my pocket. But the district, Pomona Unified School District, pays, I want to say 70% of my health insurance, and whatever I pay, that $1,200 I just mentioned, is the rest of what it costs. In other words, it's very expensive. But because all the teachers pay into the insurance is called group health insurance, because more people are paying into it, it's not as much money as if I just went by myself to, let's say, Kaiser. How much Kaiser for me to be a member and have health insurance? It's going to be a lot more money if I went individually as opposed to a group of Pomona Unified School teachers.
And because it's a government job though.
It's a government job, but the principle of group, the group principle I'm talking about, still is in effect. So in other words, if you go to Costco, and let's say you buy 100 bottles of mustard, it's going to be cheaper than if you just buy one bottle, right? That's typically the way things are sold and the way things are dealt with, because the company who's providing the mustard is saying, okay, you're going to pay that many, you're going to buy that many bottles, we're going to make it cheaper per bottle, as opposed to just one bottle. And the same that same principle, it goes along with health insurance too. Kaiser says, look, if everyone is pitching in and paying this much for health insurance, we're going to make it less per person, because we know not everyone's going to be sick at the same time. You see? And everyone's paying into this big pot of money. Kaiser takes it all. Kaiser's saying, okay, look, if everyone's going to be paying into this pot, then each person, each teacher is not going to have to pay as much as they would if they weren't a teacher. So they call it group health insurance. All the teachers are in a big group. We're paying into the pot, so we don't have to pay as much. And it goes for a lot of employers, like Starbucks, whatever company you're working for, they're going to have group health insurance. And here's what the employer will do. Whoever hires you will pay some of it. To make the job more attractive, they'll say, look, we're going to pay some of your health insurance if you're an employee for us, and you're going to cover the rest. So look at example 1. The employer is going to pay 70% of your health insurance. So you're going to have to fork over how much? 30% of it, you see.
So is that like companies in general?
Right, companies in general do that, group health insurance.
So like if you're self-employed or something like that, then you have to pay it all yourself?
Right.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is, there's certain health insurance companies that will still allow you to be part of a group. They'll look at your record, look at your health record, and they'll work with you. In other words, there's options, even if you're like self-employed. But it's still expensive.
Don't you get like more benefits when you're self-employed?
Right. But it's still expensive.
Yeah.
So, if this is how much it costs for insurance, $6,500, the annual cost, and your employer says, you know what, hey, we like you, we want you to stay with us, we're going to pay 70%, then how much is gonna be deducted from your paycheck if you get paid monthly, look at 12 pay periods? How much will be deducted from your paycheck? Well, all we're gonna do is figure out what 30% is of that and chop it into 12 pieces. That's not hard. So all we're gonna do is, if the employer covers 70%, then you have to cover 30%. Obviously.
So
what's 30% of $6,570?
divided by 12.
So let's find 30% of 6,000 of the total cost to insure you. And
Divided
since you get paid 12 times a year, like me, I get paid 12 times a year since I'm a teacher.
So just monthly?
Just chop it into 12 pieces. Just find 30% of that, chop it into 12 pieces. That's how much they'll deduct from your paycheck. You see? Let's do it. So, there he is. We're on example one. Quick, we're on example one. So 30%, so make it in pure decimal, 0.3.
1,970.
You give me the answer already?
Yeah, I think.
Hang tight. 30% of $6,570, that's how much it costs to insure this employee a year for group health insurance. You with me, Ramos? What'd you get there, Alvarez? 0.30 times 6,570.
Yeah, 1,970.
971?
Yeah.
Exactly?
Yeah.
Nice. So, you have to come up with this for the whole year. If you want to be able to visit the doctor whenever you're sick, you have to come up with $1,971 per year. But the cool thing is, the employer will say, hey, don't worry about it. We'll just take out a little bit every paycheck. You get paid 12 times a year, no problem. We'll chop this up into 12 pieces. And every paycheck, you just pay a little bit of it. That sounds fair. Here we go.
164.25 cents.
Thank you, sir. So we're taking that, divided by how many pay periods? It's 12 pay periods. One more time, Alvarez.
164.25 cents.
No big deal, you guys. No big deal, right, Perez?
Yes, sir.
Exactly. We just finished number one. We're on number two now of our notes. Let's get some paper out. We're dealing with group health insurance. You can go back and watch the video because I'm recording anyway. That's how much per paycheck is going to be deducted for group health insurance. $164.25. Every check they'll take out $164.25. What do you think, Ramos? No biggie, right?
No biggie, no biggie.
Ontiveros, we're good? All right. David? Simple. Just figure out what percent the employee has to pay and chop it at how many pay periods. Done. It's not a hard lesson. Let's go on to number two. Dang. $12,000 for health insurance? Why would it be so bigger than the first one? Can anybody think of reasons why it would be so damn expensive?
Because you're getting paid a lot more. Or you're paying a lot more. I don't know. Put it like that.
Why would health insurance be a lot more expensive than this dude? This dude's only $65.70.
He's probably earning more.
One more time?
He's earning more.
Maybe.
Or he's not in a group.
Not in a group. But we're dealing with groups right now.
Yeah.
Maybe,
This is all group health insurance.
Maybe he doesn't have like a family.
There you go. So $1,200 gets out of my paycheck because I have a family. My wife is covered and all my kids are covered. Actually, two of my kids till they turn 26. So my two youngest are still covered. Once they turn 26, it's like
Do they also
I don't have to pay as much anymore.
Do they also do it for car? Also do it for car insurance?
I don't pay the car insurance. You kidding me?
That's not all bad. That's probably what I would do. I'm staying under my mom's until I'm like 20 something, so I could pay less afterwards.
I'm fine with that if they're going to school.
Oh, wow.
Heck yeah. There's no way, man. They gotta grow up. Anyway, Servina's right. The reason why it'd be so expensive is because they probably have a family. The health insurance company, like Kaiser or Blue Cross, is saying, wait a minute. You're telling me that you want your wife and kids covered? Okay, you're gonna have to pay more per month or per year. All right, you got a good employer who says, you know what, we'll pay 80% of that. That means you got to cover 20% of the cost per year. So let's find 20%, 0.20 times 12,000. Hit it, Alvarez.
Alright, well, alright, eight down.
Hold up, I messed up.
Look where, hold on, I gotta zip my copy anyway. 20% of 12,000.
2,400.
2,400. So per year, you gotta come up with 2,400. But the employer says, don't worry about it. Every paycheck, we'll just take out some money till you pay the whole thing. How many pay periods? 52.
$46.50.
Thank you. So we're gonna divide that by 52. So if he's getting paid 52 times a year, he's getting paid weekly. So every week, he's gonna pay, one more time, Alvarez?
$46.15.
So it makes it kind of manageable. 15 cents?
Yeah.
So every paycheck, they're gonna take that much out. Every single paycheck in the year. That's not bad. That's the notes for the day. Easy. We're done.